How does religion connect and separate societies? What do Judaism, Christianity, and Islam have in common? Introduction to Judaism. Basic facts. Tenets of Judaism. Judaism is monotheistic. It has a belief in justice and righteousness, in adherence to rules and commandments from the scriptures, and the importance of covenants, Abrahamic, Mosaic, and Messianic. Jews believe in a supreme being, God. Jews do not spell out the full name as it is considered too holy. Sacred text is the Tanakh, which includes the Torah. Place of worship, synagogue. The Holy Land is Israel, particularly Jerusalem and the Western Wall. Synagogue. Here's a photo of the Western Wall. Basic facts. The Founding Fathers refers to Abraham, Jacob, and Moses. Judaism was founded somewhere around 2000 BCE in Canaan, also known as Israel or Palestine. There are approximately 14 million followers, nearly half of which live in Israel. Basic beliefs. But you shall not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for in the day that you do eat of it, you shall surely die. Genesis 2:17. Jews believe in original sin and Adam's curse from the book of Genesis. The Abrahamic Covenant. Look up at the heavens and count the stars, if indeed you can count them. Then he said to him, so shall your offspring be. Genesis 15:5. What could this mean? The branch of Abraham. God's promise to Abraham in the book of Genesis. Abraham, and then Ishmael and Isaac. On Ishmael's side, a descendant of Ishmael is Muhammad, who is the founder of Islam. And on Isaac's side, we have Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, King David, and then the Judaism branches off with one Jew, Jesus, into Christianity, and then Judaism as we know it today. What is the Mosaic Covenant? The Promised Land. The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Exodus 3:7. Messianic Covenant. There is a promise of a Mashiach or Messiah. The days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will raise up to David a righteous branch, a king who will reign wisely and do what is just in the right of the land. Jeremiah 23:5. What could this mean? Theories regarding the Messiah. In Ezekiel 38:16, before the time of the Mashiach, there shall be war and suffering. The Mashiach, or Messiah, will bring about the political and spiritual redemption of the Jewish people by bringing us back to Israel and restoring Jerusalem. This is found in several places in the Old Testament, in Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Hosea. He will establish a government in Israel that will be the center of all world government, both for Jews and Gentiles. He will rebuild the temple and reestablish its worship. He will restore the religious court system of Israel and establish Jewish law as the law of the land. Fundamental beliefs. Beliefs about God. God is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, eternal, neither male nor female, both just and merciful, holy and perfect, the Father and King. Scriptures and laws. Scriptures. Torah, the writings, and the prophets are the 3 sections of the Jewish Bible. This contains the 10 Commandments. There are also 613 additional laws. 10 Commandments. Have no other gods before me. Do not worship a graven image. Do not take the Lord's name in vain. Keep the Sabbath holy. Honor your mother and father. Do not murder. Do not steal. Do not commit adultery. Do not give false testimony. Do not covet. Dietary laws, otherwise known as kosher laws. Certain animals may not be eaten at all. Animals that chew cuds, split hoofs, sea creatures without fins or scales, certain birds, certain insects. And this is from the book of Leviticus. Of the animals that may be eaten, the birds and mammals must be killed in accordance with Jewish law. All blood must be drained from the meat under rabbinical supervision or broiled out of it before it is eaten. More kosher laws. 4. Certain parts of permitted animals may not be eaten. 5. Meat cannot be eaten with dairy. 6. Eggs, fruits, vegetables, and grains can be eaten with either meat or dairy. Kosher symbols on food packaging. Kosher for Passover. Branches of Judaism. Orthodox Judaism. Conform completely to God's laws. Traditional culture with gender roles. Rarely associate with the outside world. Reform Judaism. Believe in retaining essential elements of faith that make sense in today's society. Torah is inspired by God but open to interpretation. Emphasize broad moral messages rather than strict adherence to rules. Conservative Judaism. Not a closed system like Orthodox. Value to tradition, and they adhere to most laws. A happy medium between Orthodox and Reform. Rituals and celebrations. Sabbath Services. Amidah, prayers and praise to God. Shema, hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is our one. Reading from the Torah. The Sabbath is a Friday service, 1 to 3 hours, or Saturday services, 3 full hours. Rosh Hashanah. The Jewish New Year occurs in September or October, and it's the celebration of the creation of the earth. No work is performed on this day, and is considered one of the high holy days. Yom Kippur. This is a day of atonement, the holiest day in the entire Jewish calendar. No work, fasting is required, and it is considered another of the 2 high holy days. Passover. This honors the deliverance of Jews from Egyptian slavery. It's a major holiday lasting 7 days long. Hanukkah. The Festival of Lights is 8 days long. It celebrates the victory of the Maccabees over the Syrians and is a minor holiday. Mezuzah. Rituals. Bar mitzvah, the son of the commandment, or a bat mitzvah, the daughter of the commandment, and marriage are 3 of the rituals performed in the Jewish faith. Conflict. Though Judaism shares some similarities with Christianity and Islam, monotheistic, origins in the Middle East, God of Abraham, the creation of the Jewish state of Israel in 1948 has led to conflict in the region. Judaism and the 5 themes. Movement. Diffusion and Spread. Jews do not seek converts, but is spread across the world through the diaspora or scattering. The diaspora occurred due to persecution and forced exile. It is thought to have begun in the 8th to 6th century BCE and is documented in the Old Testament and other ancient texts, and occurred throughout history until the creation of the nation of Israel in 1948. Top 10 Jewish nations include Israel, the U.S., France, Canada, UK, Russia, Argentina, Germany, Australia, and Brazil. How do Jewish beliefs and practices determine where and how they live?